Hey, Tony Gaskins here, popping in for a little lesson. Now, the day is Saturday school, so if you miss Saturday school, then you can pop on over there doing a class on fashion just because, the show will be reviewing and we get to see all different types of fashion. But one thing I notice is that most of my clients don't understand or know what their fashion says about them and how people are reading them and how that can be blocking your blessings. So pop on over there if you see this before 6 p.m., then you catch the live class. If you miss the live class, then you can just get the replay. But that'll be beneficial for you. And y'all got to forgive me because I got my little bit of lunch on the way, so I got to keep my eye on here. Now, seeing this here situation where I seen was it ABC? I think it was ABC, and it was about a lady in Vegas, and she was make sure my system running right. The lady in Vegas was luring them in and robbing them and like drugging them, robbing them, taking their life. And I think this has been doing it since 2019 or something like that. I can't remember when it was, but it just got me to thinking about this is the thing that the adversary is using. Like, just, I want you to picture me. Sometimes you have to make it real. Like, picture me going to Vegas, being stressed. I'm going out there for work. I'm stressed. I'm tired. I'm drained. I've been faithful to my wife for how many ever years, been married, and sitting down, having something to eat, sitting at the bar, eating. A lady comes sit up beside me and she talking to me. And we just striking up, she just strike up a conversation. We just talking, talking, talking. And then next thing you know, just hit it off and she say, let's hang out, let's hang out. And, I really just want to have a very deep conversation, but it's just some private things I want to talk about and just really want to pick your mind. I got a room here. We can go up to the room, what have you. And then imagine me going up there and getting a drink. She putting something in the drink. I'm passing out. She steal my credit cards, charge them up, swipe them, swipe all of them for whatever she can get. Going to her, then take my life. And you just seen me the day before. Just talked to me, everything was going good, and then met that woman. See, that's what sex can cost you. And a lot of people don't realize when they say, "Oh, well, I heard people say, "Oh, the church is making sex the only sin." That's not true. Like, we all know that there's other sins, but what's the one that the adversary is using the most? Sexual immorality, meaning fornication or homosexuality or whatever it may be, is what he's using the most to trip people up, to trap people. And one thing about it is you can lose your whole life. You could lose your life from an STD. You could lose your life from somebody taking your life. And think about, like, if a woman or a man want to cheat on their spouse and the person they cheating with, they got feelings for, obviously they cheating with them. But imagine if the spouse finds out and just loses it, and then they go and they set out and they take this person's life. Now here get this person who thought they was just the other man, the other woman, and thought that they was safe. They just having a little conversation, or they working up to doing something real, and they just doing their little thing, and then voila, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, they lose their life. And their friends knew they was having this conversation. Their friends knew they was talking to this person, knew they was dealing with this person, but just thought that, oh, it's just conversation. Y'all just talking. It ain't nothing serious. Y'all just having conversation. And then the next thing you know, Boom. There you go. Here it is. You sitting there, and this person you just talked to, your friend, who was dealing with a married man, or he dealing with a married woman, on the news and lost their life. Think about you living your whole life and everything going good in your life, and you just decide, you just gonna take things into your hands, and you're gonna get in this relationship, and in a relationship, grown folks have sex, so you finna start having sex with your partner, and more so than that, you're gonna be having unprotected sex just because sometimes it's spontaneous. Well, bound, thank you, ma'am. You get on your bike, on your stomach, wherever you on, and you get up, and a week, 2 weeks later, something's off. A little itch, a little smell, a little discharge, a little bump, a little sore, and you like, what in the world? Go to the doctor, and they tell you done contracted something that's incurable. Now here go your whole life. You done live your whole life. You done everything right. You done everything right. Live your whole life, and you're going through all of that, and then next thing you know, y'all gotta forgive me. My wife is with my dad and Tatum. They getting driven back. They were Tatum had a game 3.5 hours away, so she texted me checking in. And then boom. And it's been heartbreaking for me being a coach, because who I've coached women who were abstinent for years. Like some women, it's 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 12 years. Like I've heard all them different numbers. And the first person they decided to break their abstinence for, they contracted an incurable STD from. Imagine that feeling. Imagine that feeling. And see, what I want you to think about on the spiritual side of things is that's what the adversary wants. That's Satan's goal, is to make you feel comfortable with sin and to say, it's just sex. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just sex. Like, don't worry about it. Like, God will forgive you. Tony Gaskin had sex before marriage. Look at his life. Look at his wife. So you could do the same thing. He's a hypocrite for telling you to abstain when he didn't abstain. Do the same thing. What he knows is you might not have the purpose that I have. God might not want to use you the way he using me. So your life, your path is different. You may have more education, more knowledge, more preparation than I had. And so you listening to this message right now. I never heard a sobering, direct message like this from somebody that know and listen to online. When I was out there dating, I never got this external messages outside of my parents or what happened. Well, I didn't even get the message from my parents. They didn't even say save yourself until marriage. It wasn't a thing that they pushed. They didn't even talk about sex. So I'm just out there in the wild, wild west, just doing what folks doing. We ain't talk about that in church either. A lot of people talking about, oh, Tony, they always talked about that. No, we didn't talk about that in church. They don't even talk about it today in church. In 2025, they not in church preaching abstinence and stay out of fornication. No, they up there talking about, if you will sow a seed that you can't believe and sow in faith that God gonna open a door that you never seen being built, and that door gonna bring millions. That's all they preaching on today. They're not preaching on sexual morality in your everyday church. So think about that. You got different resources though. Now you got people like me sitting here looking you in the face, telling you, hey, stay out that bed, stay out that defiled bed, fornication, adultery, whatever it may be, homosexuality, stay out of that defiled bed because there is a price to pay. You've been graced up until today. I remember coaching an individual who was dealing with somebody who not only had HIV but also had herpes. The person had herpes and HIV. And this was my client dealing with this person. And I'm like, well, why are you sleeping with the person? And my client was like, well, I know that they take care of themselves. Like I know they taking their medication, they going on to their checkups, they doing the right thing. I know they doing that. So I'm like, but you still playing Russian roulette. Like, is it that good? No, it's not really that good. It's nothing special about it. So you just doing it to do it? Well, I care for the person and I miss the person and I knew the person for a lot of years and we used to be together and we just circle back around and bump back into each other and it just happened. Like, hold on now. You know why it just happened? Because he could go to prison. This person could go to prison for spreading that, knowing they got that and not letting people know. So what they doing is coming back to people that they know, knowing that you're gonna take a stupid pill because you got love for them, and now they get to put your life at risk and really don't care if you contract what they contract, because now if you contract what they have, now you trapped for life. And so think about that. So you think about that and you see, and it's like, okay, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Like, let's be real. If you've ever had sex, if you've ever had sex, when you got up from doing that, were you richer? Were you taller? Were you smarter? Did you smell better? At the absolute most, you had an orgasm. Maybe you had two, maybe you had three. Ain't no telling how many you had. So that right there happened. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations, that happened. But how long did the feeling last? A minute? 5 minutes? Like, you get a moment of release. You get a moment where you're not thinking about your problems. But guess what? What if in that moment where you're not thinking about your problems and your bills and your debt and your loneliness and your brokenness and your trauma, what if from that moment it creates a lifetime of pain? Because you have to live with a toxic soul tie for the rest of your life or incurable disease for the rest of your life. And what if that act causes you to lose your life? The person you're dealing with take your life, become they psychotic or whatever, or somebody else that they dealing with take your life. See, what you have to understand about the benefit of abstinence is, and why it's so needed today, because we live in a different world. Like, people are brain dead and drunk from the blue light stimulation and social media and reality TV. It's a different day. Like our music is way worse today. Our world is way worse. Like even the food we eat, like your gut affects your brain. A lot of people don't think about that. Your gut affects your brain. So here you are, you sitting there, and now you got brain rot because you got stomach rot. You eating processed food, eating sugar, carbs, all this stuff, toxins in your body. Now the way people think is different. The way people move is different. People nasty, people filthy, and people starting young now. Now it's like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like doing drugs, smoking weed, vaping, having sex. Like we live in the wild, wild west. It's a different day. It's a different day. Like 55% of Atlanta got an incurable STD. It's real today. It's not what it used to be. And so you have to really process this and ask yourself, what is it worth? And one lie that you're believing is that somebody won't wait on you until marriage. If that's not true, that is not true in the least. Like, it's men and women waiting every day until marriage. What they doing is they falling in love faster and deeper, and they get married sooner. So instead of having to wait 5 to 10 years to get married, they getting married in 1 to 3 years because they're saving themselves until marriage, whether they born again virgins or they already a virgin. And so by living that lifestyle, and that's how they move and that's how they living, they're doing things differently. So you have to think about this and realize that this is a situation where, y'all forgive me, make sure. Oh, okay. So this is a situation where you have to really process and understand that you are risking it all when you having sex. And the benefit of abstinence is you get to really know a person. You get to vet a person. You get to see how they living, how they moving. You really get to see what they doing with their mind, with their body, how they moving. So now you able to watch them. You able to watch them and see. Y'all give me 1 second. Food in here. You're able to watch and see. Thank you. All right. You're able to watch them and see. And so now you know. Now you know how they move. Now you know how they live. So you're not just blinded. Whereas you meet somebody at the club, you meet somebody at Starbucks, y'all sleeping together within a month. Like y'all dating, y'all sleeping together within a month, 2 months, 3 months. You don't know nothing about them. So now you taking a much greater risk in 2025. A great risk. Y'all forgive my wife calling me. I'm gonna pause this. I'll be back. Hello? All right, I'm back. Y'all got to forgive me now. I know it just felt like a little quick jump. And forgive me in a different shirt too, because I had these t-shirts laying in here and I had my white shirt on. I ain't want my food to get on my white shirt before class tonight. But class not till 3 hours, so got a little time, but I gotta, prepare my little slide in a couple hours. So won't be here much long on this topic. But I really want you to sit down today. If you're in fornication or any form of sexual immorality, and really think about the risks that you taking. If you are a Christian, understand that in this space, God does not know you because you know better, and you are not covered and protected. You playing Russian roulette. So if this fornication or adultery can cause you to, or homosexuality can cause you to lose your life, you'll lose your life. If you can catch a incurable STD or even just a curable STD, that's what's gonna happen. God does not bless mess. So if you live in messy, you're not going to be blessy. You have to, he gives you the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding to come out of the mess. Then when you come out of the mess, that's when you get blessed. So you have to understand that you're risking a lot by living in sexual immorality in whatever form that may be. And if you can't come out of that with all the risk that's associated with that, then how do you expect to avoid the other sins? Because if you lying, if you gossiping, if you backbiting, if you coveting, none of those things can bring a baby in the world. None of those things can catch a soul tie. None of those things can get you a STD. So what you got to understand, although sin is sin, certain sins have different implications and different repercussions. And that's what you have to realize. So if you covet, that's literally between you and God. If you lust, that's between you and God. But when your sin is an action and it's a physical act where the body is involved, that's why the Bible say when you fornicate, you don't just sin against God, you sin against your own body. Because now you're going to bring a recompense upon your own body. Eventually, you're going to either get pregnant, get somebody pregnant, which we'll call get pregnant either way, catch an STD, form a toxic soul tie, or you're going to lose your life. Point blank period. It's not going to end pretty. The longer you play that Russian roulette, and so y'all know this where my gummies at. I'm rubbing the wrong way. Camera backwards. Wealth of health. This is where the elderberry gummies. Go on over there, get some elderberry gummies. Get your life together. Come on now. Stop all that hate and get that hate out your blood. Get on wealthhealth.com. Get some elderberry gummies. And thank you very much. And some people, I know some of y'all gummies came back, so something wrong with the address. So just circle back in, order you some more, and then we'll send you old ones with it too. Just send us an email. Thank you. God bless you. Keep your head up. Now keep going. Go a cookie. And so as you start to really process this, you start to realize, man, I'm losing. I'm taking a lot of chances. And here's the thing. If somebody don't want you because of your stance on waiting, as cliche as it sounds, that's not your person. Because a lot comes with being with somebody. Like I remember when my wife, she had a back surgery. She hurt her back. She had a back surgery. And she had hurt her back and had got like a little cut or something like that on her back. And then it had got infected and she had to have a surgery. And when she had that surgery, she had fell in the gym working out. I don't know if they were doing backwards or sideways, something on the treadmill, but they used to work out like 8 hours a day. They'll be in the gym. Crazy. And something happened and she had to have this surgery. And after she had that surgery, I was on the road and stuff too in between that. And so her mom and her aunt was really helping her and taking care of. To God be the glory, because they was having to change the bandage and all that. She had, what was it, 12 weeks. I think it was 12 weeks to where couldn't do nothing. Couldn't do nothing sexual, of course. And so, because it was back surgery. So think about that now. 12 weeks, that's 3 months. As a man, for a man who was sexually active. So in that 3 months, what I had to ride on? I had to ride on my love for her. And that's why this abstinence is so important, because you get to see, do y'all really click? I remember coaching a celebrity couple, and and I was like, well, the person that did this, so y'all forgive me, text my son, oldest. I say, so the person that did this right here, your spouse and did this, what you need to do, you're gonna have to pull back. You're gonna have to go through the process, and you're gonna have to take and pull back on that intercourse now. And my client said to me, well, that's our bond. That's how we bond. Like, that's really our connection right there. I said, uh-huh. See that? That's what's the importance of abstaining. So that when stuff happens, you know that you could go without it. You know that you got something else in your relationship. So I want you to understand, with this situation now, you risking your life. You risking your life. You risking every single thing, because it's whether it's your life where you living and you still here, but you living with that disease, or whether it is you lose your life. You could also lose your freedom, because think about this. Think about sleeping around now. Think about somebody trying to do something to you, you do something to them. Or something, they do something to you, you contract something, or they get you caught up, somebody trying to beat on you or something, you snap, throw something or hit them something, hit them with something, boom, you going to prison. Just like that. And so all of this right here, the wages of sin is death. And one of the things that keep me out of trouble, I'm gonna tell you, I don't even like the speed. Like, I go 5 miles over the speed limit at the most, sometimes 10. Everybody on the road going 20, 25 miles an hour over the speed limit. Like, I don't even speed. And the reason being is because I always think about the punishment. I always think about the worst case scenario. I don't try to look at it like, oh, I could do this and get away with it. No, the Lord changed my heart, renewed me. So I think about the potential consequences. And that's what I want you to think about, because that's what's going to keep you. So if you're in any type of sexual immorality, come up out of it today. Start doing the work to make the change and come on up out of it today. I'm here to tell you. But hey, this Tony Gaskins. God bless you. Keep your head up. Shout out to the Blessed Tribe, Patreon. I'm putting little videos over there. I may shoot one here and go and upload it from here to there. And appreciate y'all for being over there. The link maybe in the description. If not, it's patreon.com. That's Patreon, patreon.com/Tony Gaskins. That's where I put the celebrity content, where I'm touching on the stuff we got to see from these people in the media that affect our lives, because we see it and we feel away and we think away and we take a lesson from it. So I'm gonna be breaking those things down over there, and that way they can't try to have it taken down or this or that. No, we'll be over there behind the paywall. So yeah, and so if those type of lessons mean something to you or they matter to you, then okay, cool. If not, stay right on over here. Okay, I ain't worried about it. Stay on over here. God bless you. Here go a cookie. Scratch your booty, get glad. And Tony Gaston Family Foundation supporters, thank you so much. That means the absolute world. I put the link in the description now on every video, and I've had some of y'all see that and be a blessing to us. We got a long ways to go, but we inching along, and we got the staff, me and my wife, and got a few other folks that we working with in the program. And so everybody is like consultants and helping and doing a part. And so we're going to be building from there, just really working like volunteer basis right now. It's not like we getting a salary or anything like that. It's not that type of situation. We deploying the funds to active activity, to the programs, and just being a direct impact. Right now we considering helping a gentleman get off the ground through in our small business program, helping him get his small business off the ground. So our nonprofit is just really community enrichment and economic development, and just building in that way. So we have a host of programs that we rolling out, and thank you so much for your support on that. The link is in the description. So if you ever just feel a tugging on your spirit, think of us. God bless you, and we'll talk soon.